Hey people, this is Hans-Peder from Speed Lifestyle, and welcome to another awesome quote. And this one is actually pretty practical and pretty important. It's helped me a lot in my life actually. So it's not like a really abstract, what do we call it? It's not really so abstract and up in the sky. And it's basically this, and you've probably heard this quote, or you've read the title of the video. So, hurt people. And I think it's something that a lot of people really don't understand, but it's such an important nugget of insight. But yeah, there's no real origins of this quote. It's been recorded back to like 1959 in like a local Texas newspaper, the Amelio Globe Times, by a person named Charles Ades, Eads. But I won't really quote anyone on this because it's just, popped up. There's no really author of this quote. But yeah, so this quote is really important because first off, it's a little wordplay, hurt people. So hurt people who are hurt people. And so the quote basically says, people who are in pain, who suffer, are also the same people who hurt other people. And I think it's something we really don't get in our society, and a lot of us don't really understand. Because a lot of us are like victims and feel like, oh, these people who are in some way controlling me or affecting me, have the power over me, they hurt me. And a lot of people are going through like this victim mentality of, oh, these people hurt me, these people used their power to hurt me, and I've now been victimized, and I'm a victim now because people hurt me. And that's like so freaking wrong, you guys. Don't ever think like this, alright? That's so important. Because the people who hurt you in your life, like the bullies, and I know some of you have probably experienced a lot of extreme bullying and really toxic people. Maybe your parents or your people around you. But you have to get this. People who hurt you are hurting themselves. And you might think, well, why is that true? Like, I've seen a lot of rich people who got all the women in the world and are driving a Ferrari who are real assholes and stuff like that. But these people are probably still hurting, and there's pretty basic reason for this. If you've ever experienced, anger and fear, or just remember a time when you hurt someone, did you really feel happy in that moment? Did you enjoy your life when you hurt that person? Which state were you in there? And I would bet that you probably weren't in a state of bliss, of happiness, of gratitude to the universe, of just being happy to be alive and to serve other people. You probably were in a pretty crappy state when you hurt someone. And that's universally true. And the same applies when you're really nice to people and you really express gratitude and serve people. There's also a good chance that you're pretty happy with yourself. That's of course not always true. You can serve people and still have a crap inside of you. But you have to get this. Bad emotions, especially, I would also say positive emotions, but let's focus especially on bad emotions, are two-edged swords. If I'm angry at you, that same anger and that state and that pain is reflected back at me. So let's say if someone is bullying you, there's a pretty good chance they have pretty crappy self-esteem and they probably have it hard at home or something like that. So you really have to understand this. People who are hurting you are in some way also hurt themselves, because if they weren't, they wouldn't really hurt you. And it can seem not obvious at all. Like I talked about, maybe that millionaire driving a Ferrari with girls all around him and stuff like that, who maybe treats people with disrespect. That person probably has some self-esteem issues and is trying to prove his worth by getting a lot of money and impressing all the girls and stuff like that. But deep inside of him, he's suffering. So even if you don't can see a reason for why someone who's treating you bad is actually suffering, they probably are. It's pretty easy to hurt your pain. You probably know this yourself. You can really, hide the hurt. And there's tons of reasons. Maybe they had a hard upbringing. Maybe they think they have to prove themselves and they're in a constant state of insecurity. Maybe they're really stressed. Maybe they're worrying about heart disease or some sickness or something like that. So yeah. And the really awesome and practical thing about this quote is it totally changes your interaction with toxic people. Because before, you might have feel even dominated or victimized and really beat your ground when you interacted with these people who maybe hurt you in some way. But now, instead, you can have sympathy and empathy for them, for these guys. Because you can see, oh, it's not really their fault they are treating me like that. It's not really their fault they flipped me off in traffic. It's not really their fault that they said something really hurtful to me and called me worthless. Because they probably felt worthless themselves. And when you get this, you can't really, you can, but I would say it reduces the anger and the hate towards a person a lot when you know, like, oh, it isn't really about me in the first place. It's about that person being really, really suffering and, having to project that fear and pain out towards other people like me. So, other people like me, not that I'm suffering, don't worry. And so, yeah. So you get this, you can really start to forgive and have empathy for these people and let them go out of your life. Because they're really just, small hurt children, you know? It's not nothing more. I've heard this, the quote is hurt people, hurt people. But I think I've heard this quote before, I don't know where from, but in every monster there's a sad little crying child. And I think this quote is, oh, I get goosebumps from just saying it. This quote is really true. And yeah, so really take this quote with you. Hurt people, hurt people. Because now when your boss is treating you badly, and again, if people treat you badly, don't accept it and just, oh, that person is hurt. I just need to accept it and treat them with kindness. You should always treat people with kindness. But if people are pushing your buttons and you have set boundaries and people are going over your boundaries and constantly going over your boundaries after you have told them stop, of course have to remove yourself from that environment and get to more positive people. This is in no way an excuse to accept toxicity in your life, but it's a way to forgive and understand people who are hurt, and so you don't really get so offended by these people. So yeah, really take this to heart. Hurt people, and it will be a lot easier for you to let go and forgive these people who are honestly those who need love and kindness the most, because they are hurting, they're suffering. So they might treat you like trash, but they're probably the ones who need love the most. So yeah, see you guys later. Bye.